Now let me ask you, have you ever wondered how the value of money actually changes? It can be a bit like how the weather changes unexpectedly. One moment it's sunny and the next it's raining. The world of currency and exchange rates can feel just as unpredictable, with values fluctuating seemingly without warning. Today, we're going to dive into a topic that might just change the way you think about your money. We'll be discussing hydrogen chloride and how new exchange rates are shaping the world of finance. You might be wondering, what is hydrogen chloride and why should it matter to me? Well, stick around because by the end of this video, you'll have a clear understanding of how these two things are connected and how they can impact your financial decisions. So let's start by breaking down what hydrogen chloride actually means. In the world of finance, hydrogen chloride refers to the hard currency list. This is a list that defines which currencies are considered stable, valuable, and trustworthy on the global stage. When we talk about currency, we're not just talking about paper money. We're talking about trust. People want to know that the money they hold today will still have value tomorrow and in the future. This trust is the foundation of stable currencies and stable economies. Now let's connect this to exchange rates. The exchange rate is simply the value of one currency compared to another. For example, one US dollar might equal 0.85 of another currency today, but that exchange rate can change based on various economic factors. These factors can include political events, inflation, interest rates, and even international trade agreements. So why does hydrogen chloride matter in all of this? When a currency is on the hard currency list, it generally enjoys lower risks and greater stability. This helps set a reliable exchange rate, meaning the value of that currency is more predictable and trustworthy for international trade, travel, and investment. Let's take a moment to understand this more deeply. Imagine you're traveling abroad and you want to buy a souvenir. The price tag on an item says it costs 20 local units. If you know the exchange rate is $1 to 5 local units, you know it will cost you $4. But what if that exchange rate suddenly changes overnight? You could find that same item either costs you more or less than you originally thought. This fluctuation can happen all the time, and it's where hydrogen chloride and exchange rates need to work together to provide stability. Now let's pause and think about this for a second. If hydrogen chloride represents stable currencies, consider how reassuring it would be to know that the money you hold has a reliable value. Imagine the peace of mind that comes from knowing your money won't lose its value just because you're in a different country or because the exchange rate changed overnight. This understanding can bring stability to your finances, whether you're traveling or simply making purchases across borders. Let's dive deeper into how this works. One key aspect of currency changes involves the introduction of lower denominations. When a country decides to introduce smaller notes, like $1 or $5 bills, it often reflects broader economic changes. Imagine a country that previously only had large bills, like $50 or $100 notes. These large denominations were mainly used for big-ticket purchases. But when the government introduces smaller denominations, like $1 or $5 bills, this makes it easier for people to engage in everyday transactions, whether they're buying groceries or paying for services. But how do these lower denomination notes fit into the overall picture of exchange rates? The value of these smaller notes depends on the government's decision to change the value of its currency. If a government decides to devalue its currency, those $1 and $5 bills could suddenly be worth less when exchanged for foreign currency. This devaluation could create complications for anyone who wants to trade goods or travel internationally, as their local currency would no longer hold the same purchasing power. Imagine you're at a local store and the price tag on a basket of fruit says it costs 10 lower denomination notes. But overnight, the exchange rate changes. For a foreign tourist, this could mean that the fruit suddenly becomes either more expensive or cheaper depending on the currency exchange. Everything, hydrogen chloride, lower denominations, and exchange rates, interconnects and affects the way we experience and interact with money. Understanding how these elements work together is crucial for managing your finances, especially in a globalized economy. So here's a quick summary of these key concepts. The hard currency list defines stable and trustworthy currencies. Exchange rates fluctuate based on multiple economic factors. The introduction of lower denominations reflects changes in the broader economy. If a currency is devalued, even lower denomination bills must be revalued to keep pace with the new exchange rate. Now that we understand these concepts, how can you stay updated with these changes? One of the easiest ways is to stay connected with reputable financial news sources. Always keep an eye on government announcements and policy changes. Even small shifts in government policy can lead to significant changes in currency values. Another great way to track exchange rates is to use online tools that monitor currency fluctuations in real time. You'd be surprised at how often exchange rates change throughout the day, so it's important to stay informed. Lastly, if you're traveling, always ask about the current exchange rate wherever you go. Knowing the rate could help you get a better deal on your currency exchange, potentially saving you money. Let's now shift gears and talk about the implications for private bondholders. For many, exchanging bonds has been a long-awaited process filled with uncertainty. But the good news is that funds are finally being distributed, and people are now able to travel and exchange their bonds. Some individuals have already received their funds and are using them for their travel expenses. This is a groundbreaking development, but let's break it down further. So, why should this matter to you? This marks a shift in the landscape that many private bondholders have been waiting to see. For years, they've been sidelined, waiting for some form of clarity and access to their funds. Now that there's movement, it's a major win. People who have been waiting for this moment can finally take steps to exchange their bonds. It's not just about the money, it's about the sense of relief and closure that comes with finally being able to access the fruits of their investment. Today, we're tracking confirmed cases from multiple sources, giving us a more reliable sense of the situation. When information comes from multiple angles, it increases credibility and trust. Individuals who have already received their funds are sharing their success stories, which helps build a sense of community and provides hope for others still waiting. So, how does this process work? First, individuals are notified that their funds are ready. This could come through various means, such as emails, phone calls, or even official letters. Once confirmed, the next step is preparing for travel. This involves organizing flights, accommodations, and ensuring that all necessary documents are in order. Many people have shared their excitement about finally being able to travel and see the results of their investments. For them, this is the moment they've been waiting for, and as more people start to travel and exchange their bonds, we're likely to see even more updates. What's especially interesting is how these collective experiences can shape the future for other bondholders. Each person's success story adds weight to the overall narrative and encourages others to stay hopeful and prepared. If you know someone who's invested in bonds, share this video with them. It's important that they hear this news too. Before we wrap up, I want to hear from you. Have you been following the developments around private bondholders? What do you think about the news of individuals finally receiving their travel funds? Drop a comment below and let's start a conversation. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button and subscribe for more updates on this unfolding story and other exciting topics. Your support means the world to us. All right, folks, we've covered a lot today. Hydrogen chloride and exchange rates might seem complex, but understanding these concepts is crucial in today's world. So, the next time you think about currency, remember how important it is to track exchange rates and understand the impact of lower notes. If you enjoyed this video or found it helpful, give us a thumbs up. And don't forget to comment below with your thoughts. Have you noticed any significant changes in exchange rates lately? Let's talk about it! And of course, subscribe for more content that helps you make sense of the world of finance. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.